Greetings and salutations, everyone. It is your friendly neighborhood pro wrestling hipster, Tyler, at PW Hipster on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, The Pro Wrestling Hipster over on Facebook. Let's go ahead and tell the folks who you are, and let's hop right into the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one, I'm the only, I am the noob too, but you guys know me as he is joining this gentleman here. Tyler sitting down talking that thing we like to call RAW Monday Night Raw. Normally we have our other compadre here, Eduardo, but he is currently on his journey home from the Royal Rumble. Jealous. But we're not going to sit here and talk about that kind of stuff. We're going to sit down and get right into the main event. With that being said,
so we are here to discuss Monday Night Raw. This is the Dirt Sheet Radio post-Raw rewind for January the 29th, 2024. And tonight's main event was Sami Zayn taking on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre picked up the win in just about 13 minutes. A pretty solid match. I mean, you expect a good match out of Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. Caesar, what did you think of tonight's main event?
All right, I'm just going to get this out in the open because this really bothered the crap out of me. So I don't know what part of the match we were in because all of a sudden my stream cut off. And then it was like, please log in now on Sportsnet to restart your connection. I'm like, are you serious? So I'm going to have a nice chat with them in customer service tomorrow about that.
Oh.
Because
you mean a literally nice chat, as you are Canadian and are incapable of being mean to someone in a role.
I'll drop the hard bomb right off the top. I'm like, listen, buddy.
Oh no! Whoa, man! Come on, practically profanity.
Edward canceled. No, from what the parts I could see, because I got to the entrance, got to the main match, they started going for it, and then all of a sudden cut. But for the parts I actually did get to see, it was actually a pretty solid match for a, I guess you could say like a Monday night main event post Rumble to start the next era or the road to WrestleMania matches. Yeah. It was good to see Sami was actually back and he wasn't just like, here's a match, go for it. Here's 15 minutes kind of thing. It was like, here's a match, go and smack the shit out of Drew as much as you can.
And I will say the finish kind of bugged me a little bit because the referee was completely certain that a low blow had occurred. He's starting to admonish Drew, and Drew just, kicks Sami's head off and pins him. Like, that's one of those moments where the referee probably shouldn't have actually counted it.
Yeah.
I like it. Just that kind of irked me a little bit. Hey, they got to fill 52 weeks of main events a year on Raw, so you got to do something for the finish there. And like I said, we're leaning in. God knows what Sami's going to be doing heading into WrestleMania, and not really sure what Drew's going to be doing, but we'll probably talk about that a little bit more here in just a bit.
Honestly, I feel like Drew's going to do something. As for Sami, that's a heads or tail situation. Like
last year, Sami's path was pretty clear. As they were leaning into the tag title match with him and KO taking on the Usos. But again, the pretty solid main event. Nothing too crazy happened. And 13 minutes. Sami looked good. They had Drew throwing pretty much everything he could throw at him.
Except
and
the sword.
I hate the sword.
I really get that. Should be one of those things that appear at a PLE, not an everyday.
No. Where it should appear is a fucking trash compactor. That's where it should appear.
Like your favorite wrestler on Raw?
Don't put the man himself into a trash compactor.
Let's go back to the start of the show.
I had to deal with Valhalla and Ivar during the Royal Rumble, and I was none too pleased about that either.
Hey, I know I wasn't part of the show on Saturday, but big shout out to R-Truth, the hot tag. That was some money right there. It was legal too. It counted. If we had the footage, I would say go back to it. You saw it. It was hot.
It was totally fine. That was somehow we forgot to bring that up on the post-show rewind on Saturday night. But there was a lot going on. And in my defense, that show wrapped up about 2:15 Eastern. It was pretty late where the Pro Wrestling Hipster sits. So
I was fortunate that when it ended, I had enough time to like grab a quick energy drink and head out the door. So I was pretty happy about it. So, I mean, on your side of the country, it's like, oh, crap, I gotta...
It gets late here. It's late.
Yeah. You guys have a different time zone.
We are. And that's one of the beautiful things about us here at Dirt Sheet Radio. We are worldwide here. Multi-time zone, multi-nations.
Multiverse.
Multiverse. That's right. Right. We've got representatives from, all 52 of the DC universes there. So... But we only have access to 4 of Marvel's. It's really weird. But anyway, folks.
Nerd.
Oh, fucking nerds! That's why we're here. Just the wrestling word for nerd is Mark. So here we go. All right. So
said a bad word. Said a bad word.
William Regal doesn't like that word. So
War games. He needs to say that this year just once for no reason. He just show up on NXT, just like walk out in the crowd, look around, and just be like, "War games."
I imagine he shouts that at random, like he'll be at the drive-thru McDonald's or something, and just shout "War games" at them. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hop back around to the front of the show tonight.
Yeah,
so, Monday Night Raw came to us from Tampa, Florida this evening. So I did a little check-in right before the show. According to WrestleTix, the venue was set for roughly 12,840, and as of this afternoon, 12,459 tickets had been sold or distributed, which is pretty good.
Didn't Michael Cole see like 16 or something like that, or 14?
I wasn't really paying that close of attention. I mean, it's possible they opened up more tickets too, but I don't know. That it is pro wrestling, so a grain of salt with whatever kind of.
The one spot I did see that was kind of, dare we say, empty was actually behind the WrestleMania sign.
Well, I mean, you probably can't see too well behind the WrestleMania.
Well, that's fine, but I'm just saying that's probably where they had the lacking of seats. But
right,
I was pumping. That was full house basically.
Yeah, because Cole did say it was sold out. I don't recall like what number he said exactly, but I do know he said it was sold out. So we are a scant 68 days away from WrestleMania. We are full onto the road. The show opened super quickly with Pat McAfee. Grew up in West Virginia. McAfee played for WVU. So Pat's got a big following there in West Virginia. But made his way down to the commentary table. And Michael Cole said that going forward, Pat will be the other commentator on Raw, which I'm thinking maybe Wade Barrett's moving to SmackDown then.
I won't lie. It was kind of cool to hear Pat because like it seems like Michael Cole's very like on the book to the book on paper, whereas like McAfee's like he blends with like with Cole, like he works with him, but there's times like with like the Jey Uso thing where he was just like, Cole, you gotta go with it. The universe is having fun too.
He's kind of somewhere between a WWE professional and just a fan. He has kind of an everyman approach to his style of commentary.
I will say this from like a neutral stance. He's better than Kevin. Or was that his name, Kevin or Kevin, right?
Yeah. Okay. Talking about SmackDown over there that got fired, probably because he kept calling Corey Graves gravy. That's I think his worst offense. I don't know, CJ. I don't know if you're out there watching, but I don't know if you were as annoyed by Patrick calling Graves gravy as I was. But hey.
I could think of a stupid name to use right now for a lot of us, but it wouldn't make any sense except for to me. Like that's gravy. Yeah, it's gone gravy. Like
gravy
fired.
Oh,
mid show.
After establishing that Pat was going to be taking over the color commentator role, we had CM Punk make his way to the ring in a sling. Earlier this afternoon, news broke all across the interwebs, especially, and that includes here at Dirt Sheet Radio, regarding CM Punk's torn tricep. And he did come out tonight and confirm that. Hell of a promo he gave, though. Teary-eyed for a good portion of it. You can tell he's all tore up, and it's kind of sucked. Like I can't imagine being in, this kind of position where you just catch a terrible injury. I mean, it's worth noting, though, that the injury allegedly occurred during the Future Shock DDT that Drew performed on him during the Royal Rumble. That being said, that means that Drew tore CM Punk's tricep and knocked out one of Cody's teeth. Hasn't signed a renewal on his contract.
He's got like a month left?
And hurt the two top stars in the company.
Bravo. Just give him a promotion.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, we'll get into it a little bit more here in a second. But
yeah,
a lot of people are talking about, well, what's this mean, for Seth? What's this mean for the WrestleMania main events? And it's kind of hard to say. We'll talk more about Cody and Seth here in just a little bit. But I've heard people saying that they should put Drew in the match with Seth, and no, the fuck they shouldn't.
No.
And this is going to be a hot take, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but
go for it.
Drew hurt Punk, and I'm not even a Punk guy. All right, I'm not even a Punk guy. I think he's a good wrestler, but I think that oftentimes he's been a little more trouble than he's actually worth. But here's the thing. He knocked out a dude's tooth. He tore somebody's triceps, accident or not. You don't reward the person that hurt somebody. And that's it. You don't get a WrestleMania main event because you hurt the guy that was going to be in the match to begin with.
No, exactly. Not to mention, and this is
y'all can at me if you want, but that's my opinion. And I like Drew too. Drew's a nice guy. I've met Drew. I ran into him during WrestleMania weekend 10 years ago. When I say ran into him, I mean literally ran into him. It's crowded on Bourbon Street. But yeah,
I was just gonna say. I mean, back then he was probably a lot smaller. But can you imagine if he did it now?
He absolutely was. No. If I ran into him now, I would bounce.
You'd die.
I don't know if I'd die, but like my shoulder might turn to dust or something.
No, what I was gonna say also, because to actually back up your point, is like there's a hell of a lot of other people you could easily throw in there for the actual name of like Punk's replacement, instead of Drew. So there's like 101 names they could easily say.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of places to go. But as folks have probably surmised, if you didn't watch Raw Live tonight, Drew McIntyre interrupts CM Punk in the middle of this impassioned promo and basically says he prayed for the injury to happen.
Yeah, I wanted it to happen.
Yeah. I mean, solid promo from Drew, really. I mean, I said this in our group chat earlier this evening, but Mean Drew is mean. He's very, very mean. And he's not a nice guy. He's vicious. He's ruthless. He's, unyielding in his attacks.
He is what a heel should be when it comes to mic promos. That's good.
Yeah.
We need that more than just like, I'm here to invite you and I'm gonna wait for 2 weeks, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm actually going to do something, say something. And as he said before, I prayed this on you. And I'm glad it happened. But then what happened after that? It's a question.
Well, and this is clearly setting up for Punk's return feud, as he flat out stated when he comes back, he's coming directly after Drew. Drew then attacks him. Punk kicked him multiple times in the midsection, and there were some odd looking kicks, to be honest, because I thought the first one went straight to the dick, but I guess it didn't. Otherwise, Drew would have been on the ground. He should have gone for it. But Drew viciously attacks Punk, stomps the torn tricep area, and the save was made by Sami Zayn, which was interesting because I'm thinking, he's kicking the shit out of Punk. That might be one of my favorite pictures from tonight.
I know. I'm just laughing.
I love that picture. That will be memed by tomorrow.
What do you mean tomorrow? Like in an hour?
It's probably already been memed. We just haven't seen one yet. But yeah,
they say, do you want a championship run?
I was curious as to who was going to make the save for Punk, if anyone, because they've really established that Punk doesn't have a whole lot of friends.
See, here's another question for you. I thought about this earlier. I didn't write it down. I actually thought about it. What if this is slightly like blurring the lines? Like it's possible it's kayfabe, but he's actually also injured, so they're writing him off for a little bit to save him until like not WrestleMania month, but like just after Perth, like the day after. They're like, oh, he's come back for a round. I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, all signs point to it being a legitimate injury.
Yeah, of course.
If he's out 3 to 4 months after surgery, let's see, what would that put him back right around Money in the Bank?
Ooh,
which he has won before.
Well, hold on. No, isn't oh my gosh, July? That's the Berlin show, right?
I'm not. I think so, but I thought Money in the Bank was the June show.
Well, what I was gonna say is like you never know, they could try and bring him back in time to have him be put in the June or that time of the year where it's like Bash at Berlin, right? That's what it's called, Bash at Berlin,
yeah.
And then do also the SummerSlam program and Survivor Series, and let him take off again for a bit.
Yeah, I mean he'll definitely be back in time for a program in Survivor Series, but we'll have to see
him versus 5 people.
Right. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, this was the without question, I think the most heelish that Drew has come across since making his turn. I think we're past the event horizon here, and he is flat out heel now. I mean, and he was really great at being incredibly awful. Like he was just a disgusting human being in this promo, and that's what you need to do. Nobody wants to be that heel anymore. Honestly, nobody wants to be a vile, just rank arrogant, disgusting heel. I think the last guy that really did that was Randy Orton.
I was gonna say MJF, but that's a different company.
Well, okay, I'm speaking within the context of WWE.
No, yeah, I do agree with you, Orton.
But I mean, all of the horrid things MJF has done, I don't think he's ever handcuffed a man to a ring post, rendered his wife unconscious, and then made out with her unconscious face. So,
or burned someone's house down. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that happened.
Or fought at their house and smashed windows. Don't forget that one too. So yeah. MJF's got some work to do.
MJF, come on, Maxwell. Invade someone's home, sir. Burn a house down. Invade a home. Do something.
Just burn a trailer down. Buy it for like a few $1,000s and set it on fire and say it's like Tony Khan's house. I don't know.
Why would Tony Khan live in a trailer?
I don't know. The start kayfabe. You don't make up some weird. Just say it's Adam Page's house. There you go.
We've seen Adam Page's house.
They got a divorce.
Okay, we're getting back on Raw. We're leaning too much away right now. All right, so we had a quick backstage segment with the Judgment Day, just kind of doing what Judgment Day's done more or less the last few months.
I gotta say this right now because I just thought about it. Well, like not right now, but like during the show. Why was Dom wearing white? That looks so out of place for the group. Like everyone else is like black and purple, and then there's Dom in the background.
Is that his new shirt? Does he have a new shirt out?
I don't pay attention
to his shirt.
I don't pay.
But before we get away from it, I do want to say too, and I don't know if this is a T-shirt that they'll sell for CM Punk, but he said, coming out, Punk said that one of the things he was feeling about this was bummed. So I don't know if this will be known now as the bummer of Punk. Like the summer of Punk? Come on.
No, I know. I'm just like, oh.
He's the one that said he was bummed. Like I'm not, forcing that on him.
The sad part is if they made it into a shirt, people would still buy it.
He'd make money off of it. His shirt's selling like fucking crazy anyway.
No, but remember, R-Truth is outselling him. Remember that.
R-Truth outsells everybody.
R-Truth could pick up a pen. R-Truth could do like Chris Jericho did with a list like back a few years, but with like a pen or like a burger. Something stupid, and everyone would buy it. That's the seriously messed up part.
Can do anything he wants.
All right, Women's Royal Rumble.
Sure. Hey, Wednesday. All right. So moving on, we had our opening match of the night: Damian Priest and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day taking on We Are DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Hold on. I gotta say this because it's really funny. I love how Cole had to clarify with McAfee what the hell DIY meant.
Yeah,
it was so stupid.
Well, here's the thing, Pat. Pat was calling SmackDown when he was commentating before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, he probably never saw DIY live. Hey,
but get the guy a break. You didn't know what DIY meant, though. Is what I'm saying. Like the way Cole said it.
I don't know. Sometimes I think Pat McAfee's just kind of high.
Kinda.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so cats are fighting right here to my immediate left.
On the camera, let's watch.
Ziggy ran away already. Wednesday took a swing.
Are we taking bets?
Just go. It's always going to be Ziggy. Ziggy's a little bully.
First round is this cat for a second. Can we filter that stuff on there?
But Priest and Balor retain the WWE Tag Team Championships in 14 minutes. Fantastic opening match.
Yeah, no, I do agree that 100%, honestly.
Like DIY is, yeah, I think so. I'd say so. DIY is actually getting crowd reactions.
I know, that was wicked to hear that.
And like the crowd was absolutely into this match from the start to the finish. And I was kind of hoping there for a minute they were just going to go ahead and pull the belts off of Judgment Day because
that would have been amazing.
I'm getting kind of bored with the belts on them. They're not really doing a whole lot.
There's no kind of. It's like they're falling into, dare we say it, the Roman Reigns territory of just like, here's your belts, walk around with them, cool. Like it's getting bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just I don't know what the plan is or when they're going to break up Judgment Day, but it's like they'll go with the we're fracturing apart angle for a few weeks and then they just stop it. And tonight was one of the nights where they stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
You would not have thought there were any problems with Judgment Day at all. If you just watch tonight in isolation, it's a little confusing, but hell of a match though.
Well, like 15 minutes.
14.
Commercial free.
Yes, this was during the commercial-free portion of the show, which we are also in our commercial-free portion of the show.
Don't change the channel, guys. This is going to be commercial-free the whole first hour.
Whole time, actually. Whole time.
The whole first. So once that hits 60 minutes, we're going to cut it to commercial, right? Is the plan?
Right. But no, the match was really competitive. And like I said, there were moments where I thought they were actually going to flip the titles onto DIY, but
when they had that double submission, I was like ready to see them.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be there because I thought Balor was going to tap, and they just blame him, and then Priest could, be angry with him, and they'd move on.
And he'd go find Seth and finally cash in.
Maybe. No. I didn't even predict he was going to cash in this week.
You didn't.
Which means it was probably going to be the week it would have happened.
Could you imagine that though? There's gonna be that one time you don't predict it in the chat, and they're gonna do it, and you're gonna be like, "I should have guessed it. I should have guessed it."
But
it's gonna happen eventually.
No.
Well, at least R-Truth showed up. That's a good thing.
Yes. So after the match, they called R-Truth down to the ring, and Priest said they needed to apologize to him personally for what he did to him at the Royal Rumble, and they had JD just beat the crap out of R-Truth after R-Truth said some really nice things about every member of the Judgment Day. My favorite thing that he said was that Priest was like his older brother.
Yeah, I remember that saying.
And R-Truth is like 11 or 12 years older than Damian Priest.
Isn't R-Truth at least in his 60s?
He is not in his 60s. He's not Billy Gunn.
Okay, I don't know. He's up there. I know for a fact. Like, he's not like, Father Time, but like he's late 50s.
He's in his 50s, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
But yeah, JD McDonough just shellacks R-Truth, which was really sad. But I think this does bring to an end the R-Truth chapter of the Judgment Day.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well, like the amount of money they're making off of him right now, like how much he's doing, all the stupidly funny things he's doing, where he just shows up and goes, "Yo, Priest, here's your cut," and hands him like a stack of cash.
Well, but I mean, Priest seems sad that they were kicking him out. That's why he had JD do it. JD has to do the dirtiest of the dirty work. R-Truth is 52.
Ooh.
He just turned 52. Happy belated birthday, R-Truth.
Yay.
January 19th. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know where I saw it on TikTok, but someone made a TikTok about like R-Truth's like amazingness. And I mean, it wasn't called that, but it should have been called that. And in the comments, there's at least like 6 people who are like, "Dude, Truth needs a WWE title run."
Why not?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I think that came close to happening at one point in time when he had that vicious heel turn and like beat the snot out of John Morrison.
Oh yeah, okay, now I remember.
Formerly Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo,
formerly
Johnny TV,
Johnny Wrestling, John. Oh, that's like that different guy.
No, that's Johnny Gargano.
He's Johnny Honor. He's Johnny Impact. He's Johnny TNA.
He's Johnny whoever cuts him a check.
He's Johnny Dirt Sheet Radio pretty soon.
That'd be awesome. Hey, if you're listening out there, man, if you're listening, bring your abs to the show, sir. Bring your abs.
And the slow motion. Can we have a slow motion camera for us?
I'd love that. I'd just see my hair just blowing.
You, me, Danny. Who else does it? CJ. Specifically CJ. Oh, I had to do that once. You know the secret about that, right? That camera thing. Do you know about that? How they did that or no?
No.
So I came across a YouTube video and they were talking about like cool tricks they did in like wrestling. And one of the things was like, you know how they did with Johnny when he was coming out to the ring? And I'm like, I have no idea how they're doing this. And apparently when he came out to the ring, they would slow the frame rate down like hard as he came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would do his intro, he would do his pose, all the pyro comes out. As soon as he finished the intro, they would cut to like the wide angle of the arena and reset the frame rate and then go back to him.
Huh.
I know, I didn't know that either. I'm like, I play video games and I don't know this. God, stupid.
That's rad. That's rad.
It is cool, yeah. Wish I could do that in real life. Just walk into my workplace, slow the video camera down, and just be like, "I'm here, boss. You're lucky I showed up."
Hey, in the chat, Russ Wright, first time viewer.
Hey, welcome,
welcome, sir, to the Raw Rewind.
My chat's behind.
He says any AEW talk. Yes, we do AEW shows. I'm not on that show myself, but we do the Dynamite recaps on Wednesday nights. So we're on just about every day of the week here at Dirt Sheet Radio. Monday nights Raw, Tuesday nights NXT, Wednesday nights Dynamite, Thursday nights Impact, Friday nights SmackDown, Saturday nights Collision. It's nonstop for professional wrestling, guys. Non-stop.
Only on Dirt Sheet Radio.
Every day.
Every day I'm wrestling.
Hustle, loyalty, and respect here at Dirt Sheet Radio. All right, so moving on to our next match of the evening.
My chat was so far behind.
Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark taking on Piper Niven and Chelsea Green.
She can say it finally.
I don't know who cleared that back up, but
I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was so excited when I heard the shrill
let's just say it now. If Samantha Irwin is somehow watching us, thank you for bringing that back. Like that,
I was so happy.
She's the only person who that fit with. Hey, is Chelsea Green.
Hey, if she wants to do a personalized entrance for virtually everyone, cool.
Knock yourself out.
You know, no one ever stopped.
Tony Kimmel.
Chimmel, Chimmel from saying the Rated R Superstar. Nobody's never got in for that, so let Samantha do her thing. But
or like Justin Roberts does. How does he say it? Rated R Superstar.
Justin Roberts,
or whatever he does. But anywho,
so it's great that Chelsea Green got her custom entrance back, but she did lose the match. Baszler and Stark pick up the win in 2 minutes. Just a quick win for them, just to kind of move them up the ranks of the women's tag team division. I assume that after Caden and Chance get their rematch, that Baszler and Stark will probably be the next challengers for that.
Yep.
But I want to point out here, though, the WWE said the first hour was going to be commercial free. Did they not? That's what they said, right? Adam Pearce said it. They went to a commercial break at 8:53 Eastern time.
Yep, I saw that too.
Now, that is 7 minutes. That's a whole fucking match. Like, don't say you're not going to commercial for an hour.
I was grabbing in my well, not a Monster healthier energy drink. We won't get into it. And out of the blue, I went to like stand up and turned around, and I'm like, when did movies happen during wrestling matches? And then, like you said, that like 7 minutes to the hour, I was like, hold the phone. What the hell? Something's wrong. What's going on? We screwed over these 4 out of a decently length match. Like, hello? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. So up next, we opening the second hour of the show, we had Cody Rhodes making his way to the ring, which happens quickly as he has much adrenaline in his soul. Cody makes his way to the ring and delivers a great promo. His first promo since winning the Rumble Saturday night. Was coming out to make his intentions clear as to who he will be selecting to wrestle at WrestleMania 40. But he was interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins, who came out and bade him to make a different choice, to choose him as the belt that Roman has, the Hollywood title. And his is the work rate title, the blue collar title, the more important championship. You're not the guy, Cody. Roman's not the guy. I am. Here's the thing. I like Seth Rollins a lot. There is no way he actually believes the things he's saying.
No.
Like, there's no way he can actually sit there and make a case that a belt that did not exist a year ago is more important than the title that has the lineage that goes all the way back to the WWF.
Not to mention the Universal shoved in there somewhere too.
Well, the Universal is that lineage. It's the original title lineage. So it's like, come on, Seth. Now, here's the thing: if they do decide to call an audible with Punk being hurt and have Cody choose Seth, which I think is a piss poor decision, that would potentially free up The Rock to work Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
But
free up Roman to work with The Rock.
One of the 5. I don't know. The question is though, like if we were like to finalize the program tonight, would you do Cody with Roman or Cody with Seth?
Cody with
Or
Roman.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm one of those people, and this is argument online and everything, but I, even going into the Rumble, wanted Cody to win and want Cody to finish the story. It's to me, that's more important than The Rock wrestling Roman Reigns.
Don't get me wrong, like we'd love to see that, but if you do the plan,
I'm okay seeing it.
It'd be cool to see it, of course, but
it'd be a spectacle match. It certainly wouldn't be a Meltzer 14-star classic.
No, they would give it 16.
16, damn. One for every title John Cena has won.
Oh, they would make up some super stupid circumstance. No, what I was gonna say is like, back to the start of the show, I said that about it too. Is like I can name like 100 different people that would be better suited for certain spots. And in this case, if we do Cody versus Roman and Seth versus insert name here, well, one of my picks would have been to put Gunther in there, let him drop the belt, the IC belt, or walk in with double belts, or walk out with double belts.
Yeah, this we a lot of the Dirt Sheet Radio hosts, we had a little conversation regarding just that earlier today, and I think that Gunther would be a much better choice for Seth, with Punk being absent from it.
Not to mention the amazing rub it would give him in regards to, like, he's a huge heel and he walks out with both belts on his shoulders.
Well, and we were discussing that because the issue I had with the potentiality of him going into Mania and being Seth for the world title is, what do you do with the IC title? And I personally don't like the idea of someone just relinquishing a belt and tossing it aside, because I think it can make the belt look not as valuable as it probably should. And that IC title has so much more cachet and so much more value to it now that Gunther has held it for so long. So in the chat, what kind of came up was the idea of, if he were to win the world title, you just have Adam Pearce strip him of it. Way back when, especially for our younger viewers, there was a time frame when Shawn Michaels and Diesel held the world title and IC title and then won the tag titles.
I remember that.
They were then stripped of the tag titles by Jack Tunney. Tunney.
Yeah, I just remember that they did get stripped.
And then boom, it was done that way. So if you do that with Gunther, that could put all the heat on like Adam Pearce for stripping him of the title, and then he could send somebody from Imperium to go win that belt back and bring it home.
See, what I'm wondering, and I know you weren't a fan of the tag team version of this, but what if they did some kind of like actual, dare we say, tournament, like one guy on SmackDown, one guy on Raw, and then they duke it out and the winner gets the belt kind of thing?
Yeah, like, I mean, they probably would do some kind of tournament. That's usually, anytime something's vacated, that's typically how they're going to handle it. That or a flipping battle royal.
Woo! Reverse.
Tag team turmoil. Tag team turmoil. King of the Mountain. Hey, you know what? They've got a good working relationship with TNA now. King of the Mountain match.
I know this is 10 days late, but I'll say it anyways. I'm exaggerating, of course. I was so excited to see Jordan Grace thick mama pump walk through the curtain. Woo! I was so stoked when I saw that. I was like freaking out at work. My buddy's like, because I got a few friends that are also wrestling fans, but they're not like in-depth wrestling fans. And when I told them, I was like, dude, thick mama pumps in the match. A few of my buddies were like, who? Because like I said, they're really like focused on one brand. So I had to walk them through her like history of how she's become, a beast in now TNA, and they're just like, dude. And I'm like, right. So that was
hell of a showing.
I was so stoked. I don't know how long she lasted, but like the part I could watch on my coffee break, I was watching of her. Like I was like earphones in, eyes were just like, I was tunnel vision and shit, and just
it was
watching.
Fantastic. It was a really cool moment. And, it'll be interesting to see what the relationship is like going forward between TNA and WWE.
I hope so.
But yeah, I mean, this was a pretty good promo. It adds some drama to everything. But Ralph Jr. down there in the comments, Gunther versus Seth is the new Warrior versus Hogan. I mean, hell, if Gunther were to do that, he holding both the IC and world titles, that is also something that was done by the Ultimate Warrior.
Honestly, Okay, let's just say Gunther does go to Mania, takes the belt off of Seth, and they do your idea and they strip Gunther of the belt, and they said we want to put it on one guy right now specifically. I think I know who you're gonna say, but I want to see if I'm right or wrong. But who would you pick?
I mean, if I can't have Chad Gable just straight up beat Gunther, winning a tournament would be the next best thing, I guess.
I knew you'd say that. That's what I was waiting for. No, I completely agree with that one. But like I said, it's it's the what ifs, which would be cool to see. But I do agree, like the double belt thing would be kind of cool. I just hope he does it where he does like the Chris Jericho thing, where he puts one on each arm and carries it like this. He feels like that kind of guy would do that.
He's a bigger guy than Jericho though. So.
But it would look better than having the priest angle, one belt on his waist, one belt hanging off.
Oh, he could do the old Kurt Angle and just wear them one when he was the Intercontinental champion.
Oh God, I remember that. Yeah. What about one on his waist, one around his neck, like Omega was doing there as the belt collector for a little bit.
I don't know if Kurt likes to put a lot of strain on his neck.
Kurt, you mean Gunther?
No, I was talking about when Kurt wore one above the other. Then...
Oh yeah, to cover his boobs. I love saying that because it's so stupid.
We're talking about Kurt Angle, not The Rock.
I know. Oh, canceled.
What's Dwayne going to do to me?
Shows up all of a sudden, like pushes our screens down. He's at the top of the screen.
if The Rock shows up on this show, and I'm the reason he does, no one's going to be mad at me.
No, we're just going to be like, oh shit, he hurt us. I'd be mad.
Michael in the comments, I'm really scared. We're getting Cody versus Seth and Rock versus Roman. Yeah, I think I'm one of the few people that would much rather see Cody beat Roman than see The Rock wrestle Mania. But hey, that's just me. But moving on to the next match on the card, we had Jey Uso taking on Big Bronson Reed. Jey picked up the win here in just around 9 minutes. It was nice to actually see a clean, decisive win on Raw, going into a match where I really wasn't 100% certain who was going to win. I kind of assumed it would be Jey, but I really didn't know. But God, what are they doing with Bronson Reed at this point?
IC champ? US champ?
For what reason?
I'm just saying, like,
when was the last time goddamn match? Like I feel like they've done nothing but define him down over the last 2 months. Like
I wouldn't put him as a tag person. That's for sure. I'd be like,
I don't know what to do with him. Like they brought him up and he hasn't done a whole hell of a lot on the main roster.
I don't know if you actually paid attention much to his run as Jonah on the indie side, but he was doing more there than he is now.
Yeah, and maybe they're not quite sure what to do with him at this point.
Because when he was doing the Impact shows and he was running around out in New Japan, his matches were pretty. I wouldn't call them amazing, but like he was doing something. Like you'd hear, "Oh, Jonah's versing da 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 for this belt," or he's versing this person just to have this match. Yeet. So I don't know. Maybe release him.
Now,
but that's just.
Now is with speaking of Jey here. With Punk being injured and out, does that raise the probability that Jey gets a more prominent role in the singles division?
Or maybe he gets pushed closer to a title match at Mania? Jey versus Seth? No?
I think I don't know if they're going to want to go with the face angle on something.
No, but could you see them having that kind of match at a Mania, those two?
I mean, they had a match, 2 or 3 weeks ago? Yeah. About a month ago? It was good.
Yeah, for the belt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying this Mania specifically, but could you see them being in a Mania, the two of them, for something?
I could absolutely see Jey Uso getting in a world title match at a WrestleMania in the future. Like he's great. I think that he is a little bit maybe a notch or two above Jimmy.
Oh yeah,
in terms of everything, but part of that's just because
everything.
Well, I mean, it's I hate to be just so blunt about it, but a lot of it, character-wise, has to do with what they've done to Jimmy, where it's just kind of he's in the bloodline, he's out of the bloodline, he begs to be back. It's Jimmy's character got kind of hurt by all of that as Jason created. But no, they're both really good, but I think Jey is probably has more potential to be a world champion than Jimmy does.
Not to mention, when I was watching here at my house, it's kind of entertaining when my parents were having dinner and my dad looks up from his food and he goes, "Holy crap, look at the crowd." And I'm like, I looked up from, I was on the chat, and I just see the crowd doing, the yeet or whatever they're calling it, the hand motion. And I'm like, yeah, I told him, I was like, because the crowd loves this guy. That's why. I had to explain to my dad who Jey Uso was, but it's not a big deal. But
he's over as hell. Like he's done very well since the split. And I mean,
go on?
Oh, I would say, are we expecting him and Jimmy to be a match at WrestleMania this year?
I could see it. I don't know if it'd be night 2, it'd be night 1, maybe.
Like, will they do some pun about lack of brotherly love in the city of brotherly love?
That's a little too on the nose. You never know.
Brotherly loveless street fight. 1 second, Ziggy, please.
Loveless,
we are live
brother
right now.
Brother loveless. No, what I was gonna say is I don't know if you did, but I was watching the video when they did the crowd, we'll call it a bounce almost, and you can see people in the nosebleeds were doing it too, which is really freaking cool. So it wasn't just these guys or these guys; it was just everybody in the freaking arena was going nuts.
Oh yeah, and that's every single appearance he makes. Even Pat McAfee was into it.
Yeah. He almost fell and ate shit live on TV, so that's even better.
He got winded. He's a little out of practice, okay? He's been out of the game for a while.
That's the excuse he uses. That's the excuse he's going to give us. Ooh, speaking of people showing up, who showed up on the show tonight to do a quick signing? A certain luchador showed up just after this. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes. So,
should we say his name now, or should we say his original name from the company? Which one should we say? Call him by.
Well, I mean, probably who he is now.
Oh, I want to use his real one, but all right.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. Use the real one, then we'll say what he is now.
So, returning from parts unknown, we don't know where he went to, is Andrade Cien Almas returning. Ooh, we're the wrong name, guys.
Yeah. It's like calling Kevin Owens Kevin Steen.
That person doesn't exist. We're kidding.
Andrade.
So,
there he is. But yes, Andrade makes his return to Monday Night Raw and signed to Monday Night Raw. We had a quick little backstage segment there with Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, and Andrade signs with Raw. Aldis seems a little upset. He said
I don't blame him for being upset. Offer.
Well, but then he gets a phone call from not Braun Strowman. Goodness gracious, Braun Breaker, different Braun. He gets a call from Braun Breaker and leaves the room, which leads me to assume that Braun Breaker will be on SmackDown. I would have liked to have had Braun Breaker on Raw.
You never know. He could just show up to talk to all this. Anything is possible.
I mean, they've been pretty good about keeping things balanced when they add somebody to one roster, someone goes somewhere else. But
no,
but I mean, I think it's kind of a no-brainer that. Well, shoot, actually, where's Charlotte?
Isn't she injured still?
I know she's injured, but I mean, which roster was she actually on?
SmackDown.
Oh, see that's a little confusing. Are they still married?
Yeah, they're still married. Well, not to mention, I don't know if you actually paid attention. I know if we had our Hispanic compadre here, he would totally fill us in on this one. But he did say something like "Say hello to Reina for me," which is basically he's referring to Charlotte.
Oh,
I thought it was really funny. Yeah, as I was talking to all this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was just that quick. Andrade's voice isn't super strong. He's like, say hello to Reina for me. Thank you. And then he the typical voice where it's it's very raspy. Very low.
He does. Well, I think that gives him a slightly different promo style, though, being a little quieter. That's one thing about wrestling I've said for a long time. There's too much yelling. Y'all don't need to yell so much. Some of the best promos in the business did not yell or scream or raise their voice really past a certain decibel level. Look like Jake the Snake.
I know.
He's really good at his promos. Draws you in. You got to lean in real close when Jake
talks. Who would be really cool to see with Andrade, but I doubt it's going to happen? Zelina.
Yeah, see, I kind of assumed that they would drop him into that whole mix over on SmackDown, but I guess not.
The question is, I wonder, is he a heel or a face right now? Because they never really established that.
I don't think they haven't. And they'll probably still leave that a little ambiguous. But I would think he's going to work heel.
I don't know. I'm still going to cheer for him. I don't care.
There will always be that contingent.
I hope
that does.
I don't know if you remember from like I think it was like just before the pandemic, the Rumbles. But like, do you remember the one he entered when he was like by his full name, and he jumped into like the ropes in his pose? That shit's awesome. He would go flying to the ropes and pose.
He's an incredibly talented wrestler, and you know it is interesting though how they kind of just skate around folks that were gone and in AEW. It's just kind of like,
where'd he go?
We don't know where they were. They were just gone.
He was injured. Yeah, 6 years. Yeah. Broke his something. Just broke something. We don't even know.
All right. But all right, so we had a quick backstage interview segment with Becky Lynch.
The man Becky Lynch.
Just a quick little interview, just kind of leaning towards her road to WrestleMania. I'm not quite certain what they will do with Becky, but hey, we'll see.
Maybe send her over to SmackDown to challenge.
I don't know. I think that Bayley's going to be choosing Io.
You think so?
God, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm just kind of putting myself into cruise control and watching.
Yeah,
that's all. I don't. It's gonna be money either way, whichever way you put Bayley. To be honest, but like the one that gives you the extra like little bit is when you want to go with, and maybe I would think that way.
I would think they'd go Becky Rhea rather than Becky Io. But hey, we'll see. But
yeah.
So that led us into our second title match of the night. We had Gunther taking on Kofi Kingston.
Gunther.
Yeah, solid match. 17 minutes in length. Gunther, of course, retains the IC title. I will say that in some regard, and my God, this is probably going to make some people mad that I'm saying this.
Incoming.
Well, I mean, he defends a lot, so that's a little bit different. But Gunther's matches are starting to become like Roman Reigns matches for me.
I mean, it is missing a few things. I get what you're saying.
Good match, no drama. Because I know he's not losing.
Yeah. No, I agree with that totally. There's a certain point where people's matches, you're kind of like, okay, it's getting a little bit predictable, guys.
That's probably one of the only sizable drawbacks to having an incredibly lengthy title reign is that at a point you know that there's no chance of someone winning a match against that individual. And on a random Monday Night Raw, Kofi Kingston will not be beating Gunther for the IC title with more than a week's build. So, it's one of the things, but that's how a lot of his matches are. And like, unless it's a major show, I don't expect him to lose that belt.
Like Mania, for example, or Perth.
Well, it's just like CJ. I think it was CJ was saying about Roman Reigns matches. If it ain't WrestleMania, there's zero chance he's losing that belt.
I just see. I know this is like a few days late, but I just didn't like how they ended the match for the 4-way. Like it just seemed like they were like, I don't know.
Roman's wins have shifted from decisive, hard-hitting victories. Example, the stack pin with Adam Copeland and
Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson. I'm trying to use real names here. But like that was a incredibly decisive victory compared to Saturday night, where it's Solo Sikoa doing the stacking for him.
Yeah.
Trying to find AJ Styles and then screwing it all. But
the one thing I wonder that I've told a few friends of this outside of our community is like, if you took Roman and put him on the indies and told him he had to survive his matches and actually write them, could he? Do you think?
I don't know.
Or would he have to have someone to guide him?
Roman's a different beast when it comes to his character and how he is. Like, he's gotten very good at what he does specifically, but I mean, it all started with Go Away Heat. I think the true test, if Roman would want to be a face in the future and can actually get over as a face, I think that would really help solidify how a lot of people feel about him. I mean, he's obviously always going to be in the record books. He'll be in the Hall of Fame when he retires. But I just don't know if he's. I mean, but for me to get, I was going to say I don't know if he's the best, even close to being one of the best in ring. Nope. But does that really matter?
No.
Nope. In the long run, I mean, you got to look at the people who have the highest level of accolades in terms of championship length and number of titles, with exceptions of men like Ric Flair. But you're talking about like guys like Hulk Hogan or John Cena. Neither of them were the best person in the ring. You know?
No, they did the job. It's like a. This is gonna sound kind of silly, but it was like a quote from Call of Duty, one of the older ones in the campaign. It was like, "History is written by the victor." So in this case, Roman's gonna write the history by holding the title for 25 years or whatever the hell it is now. I've gotten to the point, and nothing's nothing against our crew, but I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to watch SmackDown because it's like it's like
there are so many people on SmackDown that I like though.
Although I like everyone else on SmackDown. I just don't like when Reigns shows up.
I'm still mad that they moved Kevin Owens to SmackDown and I don't see him on Raw every week.
I still want to know how his back feels. I've seen some of the matches he's done in the past.
From what I read, he was wrestling with a fractured foot on Saturday night. So.
What the? That's so weird. I mean, I have foot pain myself, but it just sounds weird. It just sounds weird to say. That's
things happen. Things happen. I much like timeless Tony Storm sometimes have a touch of the gout. So these things happen, guys. These things happen.
Do you throw shoes too?
Not since I quit drinking. No.
Quick, start drinking again.
No. No, I don't want to throw shoes. Look out for the shoe. But back to we are all over the place here, folks. I do apologize. But great match with Gunther and Kofi. Didn't for a second think Kofi was actually going to win. They tried their hardest to make it look like Kofi might win a couple times. Kofi threw everything at Gunther.
Not a chair though.
No, not a chair. No, not a commentary chair. But hell, Gunther took an SOS.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you don't see Kofi break that one out too frequently.
You don't see Gunther take certain bumps and actually sell them.
And Gunther's a big dude. You know, that's
how tall is he? Best guess. I'm going to say at least 6'3" to 6'5".
Yeah.
Chat, what do you guys think right now?
I'd say probably around 6'4".
I'm saying, like I said, between 6'3" to 6'5". That's a pretty small gap, but I'm saying that. Like, there's no way he's like 6'7". Hell no.
6'4".
Okay, so I was close.
His build height is 6'4", because this is wrestling. So if I were a wrestler, my build height would probably be 5'11". That means I'm 5'8".
No, it's what is it? What's that one Danhausen uses? Standing at 7 foot tall, 300 pounds.
Hey, Crash Holly was a 450-pound super heavyweight. All right, these things happen.
Oh, I love that shit. Okay, let's go to the women's tag match.
Yeah, but well, hold on now. But after the match, we had Imperium come down and attack. So
smack the shit out of them.
Keeping that going, that conflict going with Imperium and Kofi and Xavier Woods. And
do we have that clip ready? We don't have it ready. No. I don't think John's not here to do
Ring General. All right, so a fun, rare appearance of the Kabuki Warriors on Raw. That's one thing I do love about the floating tag team titles is that you see them on both shows, and it was cool to see the Kabuki Warriors over there. So we had the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, taking on Tegan Nox and Natalya. The odd pairing of Tegan Nox and Natalya. The Kabuki Warriors retain the tag team championships in just about 10 minutes. Pretty good match. They did finally start to sow some seeds of dissent between Tegan and Natty. There was a period in the match right before the finish where Natty was calling to tag out, and Tegan was too distracted, landing a kick.
I don't know why she didn't. I don't know why she didn't just walk up and like tag her. That's what I was wondering
she
about.
could have hit her. Actually, I don't know if a blind tag can work that way. I think it has to be the person on the apron. But it's wrestling, so God fucking knows.
Yeah, right? they could just throw it in there like, oh, it happened like that.
Right. But she sold frustration and confusion, and then was subsequently beaten and pinned. They didn't really touch on it too much after the match, but the way that Trips likes to do storytelling, it'll probably take at least a few weeks for it to get rolling, which is fine. I don't always like that they do the little feud when a tag team starts to split, but I don't think that Natty and Tegan Knox should have been a tag team to begin with. So cool, split them up, let them feud. It'll probably be like a 3 to 5 week TV program, and we'll see where they go from there.
I will say that I was watching the match. Was it just me, or did Natty look a little bit stiff? And not because the age thing either.
I mean, you mean like she wasn't moving as well, or like she was hitting people too hard?
No, like it seemed like she could have easily hit certain moves properly, and it seemed like she was like she was scared almost at times. Like not the whole match. Like there were certain things which like she could have hit them easily like a pro and just been like, cool, I sold it. Next. But
yeah, I don't know. Natty's usually a consummate professional. But
that's what I'm saying. Like aside from that meme that you guys shared about, things.
Yes,
you know.
Russ, yes. Well, we absolutely remember when Kofi had the Jamaican accent.
Remember the Jamaican accent, man.
It was quite the time. That was when they weren't announcing him from his actual like birthplace, which is Ghana.
I'm gonna sound like a total moron, but he is from West Ghana, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he grew up in the U.S., but it is where he was born. Yeah.
Okay. Because this is wrestling. I could say I'm from Canada, but I'm really from Guadalajara, and Tyler's really from actually middle of Finland for all we know right now.
Finland, interesting choice. I'd be taller. I'd be taller than 5'8" if I were Finnish.
Well, I don't know. You know what I mean, though, right? Like I could walk into like a building right now and be like, he's from West New Hampshire, and then someone else could be like, Tyler's from like Portugal or like Spain.
There's a West
I don't know.
New Hampshire.
I'm not from the US, dude. You know that already.
Caesar, I can tell you this: there's not a West New Hampshire.
Now there is. It's officially happening tomorrow in the news. Donald Trump's gonna make it happen, or Joe Biden or somebody. They're gonna make it happen. And Tyler's gonna message me tomorrow. I'm like, dude, you just ruined America.
West New Hampshire, folks.
Can we get that? Can we get that as a hashtag?
No, we're not hashtagging West New Hampshire. West New Hampshire is not going to be trending worldwide. After Asuka and Kairi retained the tag titles, we had Bayley make her way to the ring, and she was coming out to announce whom she would be choosing to wrestle at WrestleMania. And Rhea Ripley.
The jacket.
You were angry about the jacket, but Rhea Ripley pops in and interrupts, and is pretty quickly attacked by Nia Jax. Nia beats the ever-loving shit out of Rhea Ripley, tosses her into the ring, continues to beat Rhea Ripley as the mean girls that they are, Damage Control, just hanging back. Although, why would heels stop a heel from attacking?
I was gonna say, why would they stop a monster?
But they're all heels. It's heels all the way around.
I find it ironic that in that whole corner, Bayley's the tallest. See that? She's the tallest out of the 5 of them.
Well, she's also got a little bit of heel there on there. But Nia, after the beatdown on Rhea, gets right up in the face of Bayley and tells her to choose Io. Choose anyone, but don't choose Rhea. Like, Io's the only option.
You know who is another option? Eduardo. He's in our chat.
Hey, Eduardo. Welcome to the chat, sir. Pretty solid Raw tonight. Set up a lot of threads and things going into the WrestleMania season.
Hopefully, it's first hour's over. We're going to commercial. Let's go.
So hopefully the rest of your journey back home is safe. And we look forward to having you back on the show next week. We'll have to get some in arena insights from you because as we said earlier, Eduardo was in the building for the Royal Rumble.
One of our boys.
We'll have to see what he has to say about that.
Honestly, like this, I just wanted to touch this before, like you're saying though, before I threw that out there. You never know though, like they could tease the hell out of it and be like she's like gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go after EO, and then 2 seconds later be like, No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go for Rhea instead. Like we don't know until she actually says it, right?
That's true. That's true. But
it's wrestling.
It's wrestling, man. It's wrestling. We'll find out Friday night. That is what Bailey said. She told
me. Have a talk show for that too.
We do. And see Edward. Hell yeah, we'll see you next week, brother. Looking forward to it.
Buenos noches, hombre. Be safe. Get home safe. And then take your suitcase and just throw it in the corner.
Don't do that. Why are you wanting people to throw things, Caesar?
No, but you know that's true. Like, you get home from vacation, you put it down somewhere in your house and just go, okay, I'm gonna leave it for like the next day or two. Everyone does it. your underwear in there. Okay. Just leave it in there.
Don't need it. But
I'll buy a new pair of 6.
I'll just buy new clothes. I'm not even taking these out of the suitcase ever.
The sad part is some people probably do that too.
There probably are. I mean, that's George on Seinfeld said that he just wanted to buy enough underwear that he only had to wash them once a year.
My God, 365 bears.
That's a lot, man. It's a lot. But yeah, that brings us back around to the main event of the night. So Caesar, I think that will bring us into our jobbers and megastars of the evening. And as always, here on the Dirt Sheet Radio Rewinds, we begin with the jobber of the night. Caesar, who did you have for your jobber of the night?
I actually have 2 names like usual. I'm the guy who's going to have either 2 serious names, 1 serious, 1 comedy, or both completely hilarious. So the one that's, I guess you could say, slightly serious is our boy Nick Aldis from Friday night. Why? Because he could have had Andrade on the show, but he didn't make it in time or something. Some kind of communication didn't go through. But Nick Aldis, he's going to sign somebody. Find out Friday. And it could be somebody amazing. And then for kind of a joke, but still kind of a serious one, is R-Truth for getting stomped. That was such a buzzkill. I was watching that and I was like actually kind of pissed. What did R-Truth do to him? R-Truth versus JD at WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, he has been on kind of JD's case about everything for quite some time.
Well, because JD's not in the Judgment Day. That's why.
Well, he is now. So for my jobber this evening, I'm going with Big Bronson Reed.
Because,
like I said, I feel like they've just really defined him down over the last few weeks. Pretty much since that double count out with Ivar, they haven't done a whole fucking Ivar, who wasn't on Raw tonight.
Thank God.
He's busy. He's rusting from the Rumble and carrying that stupid fucking shield around.
Did you see that sign in the crowd that said meat?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's people are loving the big meaty men slapping meat. These are 2 meat planets. Oh, I just realized that without Wade Barrett on commentary, I won't be able to hear anyone say meat planet anymore. That's a real shame.
Technically, we could just write it as like a sample and just like meat planet.
Meat planet.
There's a soundboard going on.
But yeah, I without question go with Big Bronson Reed as my jobber.
No, I mean, it wasn't my jobber, but I do completely agree with you. Like, they need something. They need to do something.
Yeah.
Or else just send him off. It sucks.
I don't know what they're going to do with him, but they need to figure it out.
NXT?
But before, I mean, he's been there.
But do we do it again, though?
Former North American champion. I mean, they've sent people back down before. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think like because it's like he was doing how he was on the Indies. He was with Japan and Impact, and it was every time I heard his name, it was like Jonah versus blah blah blah, and it was like it wasn't like super like over the top, out of control. But if they're gonna send him away, TNA right now would be the perfect place to go to, because they're getting started on they're cooking hard over there. Like Scott D'Amore, like that promo. Yeah. Did you see that promo?
Oh yeah, they're doing some amazing work over there. I'm one of the fortunate that actually has I use I won't say which one, but I use one of the streaming cable services. It's Sling, but I have access to Access TV on that, and TNA airs on Access TV on there, as does New Japan actually. So it's
yeah, I've seen that actually. Yeah. What was I gonna say? No, like that promo that Scott dropped after the Ospreay Alexander match. I don't remember if it was one of us that said that, but like you could tell that you think that Scott was gonna have like a heart attack. Like he was getting super into it, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
But like Scott, calm down a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to blow a gasket, man.
We want you to be hype, but we don't want you to like wind yourself, or as you said, blow a gasket and put yourself up for 6 to 8 months.
Like
you are TNA Scott D'Amore. Stay, don't go nuts. Watch him like all of a sudden start hitting the gym and become up like a TNA champion down the road.
Hey, you never know. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Gracias.
But we'll move to the mega stars of the night.
Well, appreciate it.
For my mega star this evening, I am actually going with, and this is even though they lost, DIY.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something else.
No, going with DIY. Thought they looked great tonight. Love tandem tag moves, and they're actually getting over now. The main roster audience was chanting DIY multiple times throughout the match. So fantastic. So they're my megastar of the night. I hope that going forward they can keep this momentum going and maybe get those straps at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope they get either both the Undisputed or just a set of straps. One of the two. So let's have a bit of fun here because there's only 2 of us hanging out tonight. Both of our other boys are busy getting home safely. I want you to try this, okay? I have a pick for my jobber. Or not my jobber, sorry, my biggest star. Okay. I want to give you 3 guesses of who it could be. I want to see if you can get it. Because I'm not gonna say if it's predictable. I'm not gonna say if it's unpredictable. I'm gonna say to see if you can get it. Don't worry, I'm not gonna be like, oh, just kidding. It was it's actually just like it's actually a thing. So 3 guesses. I want to see.
Is it Adam Pearce?
1. Come on, 3 guesses. Well, don't worry. Yes, they're actually on the roster, not just some random that just shows up once in a blue moon.
Kabuki Warriors.
2.
Gunther.
3. All right. So you want the good news or the bad news?
Is it Barrett?
No, that's 4. That's 4 guesses.
Well, you said bad news. I just assumed.
No. So the good news is you guessed names. The bad news is you didn't guess the right name. But so the person, and I actually am getting like, I wouldn't say I'm like super behind her, but she's gotten a lot better and she's doing a lot of things, is Tegan Nox actually. Like I'm not saying like the tag team that she's doing is like perfect, but they're putting her more on TV. She's getting featured in more things. They're not super like hype, out of control things, but they're giving her something to do, and it's letting her flourish. I mean, her and Natty, it's a weird team, but look at Baszler and Baszler and Starks. Look at like Kabuki, where everyone's tag teams are weird, but if they're done properly, they could be done really well. So it's cool to see that she's doing something.
When they do a split, I would hope that Tegan Nox would win the feud with Natty. I mean, Natty doesn't need to win feuds at this point. She already has her Guinness World Record. So
yeah, was it like about her 2 paws or whatever the cat's name is, or no? Is it about the cats?
She's has more victories than any other woman in the history of the company.
Yeah, that's a pretty big flex, actually. No, I mean, what would be cool? I doubt this will ever happen. Is let's say somehow miraculous way. This is gonna sound like some old school shit right here. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember what Tegan Nox used to be a part of, like when she first came to the company? What faction / teaming or whatever? No. It was for a little while there. It was her and Dakota Kai as like Team Kick or whatever it was called. And Dakota had some like weird like pom-pom kind of hair, and they were both like super like happy-go-lucky girls.
Yeah, there's a few small sections of time where I wasn't paying super close attention to things.
Yeah,
and that was one of those times.
But it's just what I'm getting at is like it was really cool to see them have like their own little faction. It wasn't like super hype, but it was just really cool because there was such a nice energy to like the women's division.
Yeah,
so it was different, but we'll see. It was just cool to see. But going forward, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But yeah, that wraps up another week of Monday Night Raw. Caesar, real quick, tell the folks where they can find you and where they're going to see you next.
So in case it wasn't obvious, I'll be here next Monday with this gentleman and hopefully our other compadres so that they get back home safely. I know they'll be home safely, but they're probably they're still flying, right? There's something like that they said. I don't know. I've been reading the chat here and there. I will also be here on the Wednesday Dynamite after show recap with the other gentleman, sitting down discussing that. And of course, as you see my At is right there. It is at NoobTube on social media. I'm not naming half of these platforms. There's so many platforms now I've lost track. All I can say is it's on the Facebook, on the IG, and on the Twitter sphere. And yeah, see you guys on the next show. But at least for you, Tyler, where can we find you?
Yeah, well, I will be here every Monday night with Caesar Eduardo. We'll have him back next week. Traveling back home. But I am at the PW Hipster, at PW Hipster over on multi-platforms, except for Facebook, where it is the Pro Wrestling Hipster, like the Ohio State University, although slightly less obnoxious sounding than that. But I will be here next Monday night. I will also be here tomorrow night with TC Soup and CJ talking NXT as we do every Tuesday. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. And then real quick before we go, I want to answer a quick question that Ross asked. He said, I know it's not Wednesday, but are you guys fans of Eddie Kingston? And I will say, I like Eddie Kingston a lot. I think he brings a lot of realism to his in-ring style. There was a period of time where I was going to probably about one Ring of Honor show a month. And that was when Kevin Steen was still on top over there. But there was a time where I was Homicide and Eddie Kingston were teaming up. And in one of the rare instances of me doing this, I nearly jumped the guardrail at Eddie Kingston and quickly thought wiser of it, as he would have killed me. But it's because he called Scarlett Bordeaux a ring rat, and I took exception to that.
That's insane.
She is a sweet, kind woman and is in no way a ring rat.
See, I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like a few years back when Eddie was teaming with Penta. And he dropped those promos after every episode. And they were like, I don't know, Eddie's promo work whenever he's in the ring is really freaking cool because like it just sounds like he's just bullshitting with people and just going, listen. And like you said, it makes you feel like a subtle connection to like the sport, the action.
Well, and I will say I've had a lot of fun moments at wrestling shows over the years. Been very fortunate to go to the ones I've gone to. But one of my favorite wrestler interaction moments was an Eddie Kingston moment. I don't even remember which city it was in, but it was Ring of Honor show. And he had taken a bump and was kind of slouched into the corner of the ring. And I had, I was 3 feet from him from ringside and look up at him. And I just like to say things to get under his skin when I could. But I told him that he is just bitter and angry that he's not capable of besting Dasher Hatfield in fisticuffs, which was a callback to Chikara, for those of you that remember Chikara. And even though he was supposed to be unconscious, he slowly lifts his eye up, flips me off, and then just goes back to pretending to be knocked out. So I want to thank you, Eddie Kingston, for that moment. But we'll get
him on the show and see if he remembers you.
Hey, you might, man. Like you were that asshole that said Dasher Hatfield would beat me. But folks, everyone out there that always tunes in live for us, we appreciate all of the views, the likes, the subscriptions for Dirt Sheet Radio. And all the folks that watch us on delay, however you watch us, we appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of the night. And for Dirt Sheet Radio, we will see you next time, Streamerverse. Have a good night, everybody. Let's go to bed. It's 12:30 here on the East Coast. Good night, everybody.